Well, my main goal with this was really, I was working at a facility where we started seeing a lot of a big increase in some of our miscounts, and this was kind of happening as we were having some turnover with staff, bringing in agency staff, and hiring new grads into the CVOR for the first time in hospital history. And so I really saw a need to maybe change the way we were doing some of our counting. I'd worked at a previous facility where I'd seen it done a little differently, and we had really good success with it. And so we started really changing some of it, and that led me to dig into the AORN guidelines to really see what best practice was, and then looked at what we were doing and how do we bridge the gap between what we're doing now and what best practice is, and started implementing some of those changes slowly. And some of those changes were bringing in whiteboards, counting instruments by the tray was another big one, and then really just making sure 2 people are laying eyes on it. I would like for nurses to leave this presentation knowing what the best practice guidelines are and what AORN recommends, and then also being familiar with if maybe they're working somewhere where they're not doing things the greatest or they see room for improvement. How do I go back and how can I implement some of these changes at my own facility? Or how can I change my hospital policy to reflect best practice guidelines if it already doesn't? For example, like 2 people laying eyes on instruments, soft goods during your counting, making sure you're counting from your field to your back table and then to off the field. Those are some small changes. I think there's some bigger things, like if you're looking to make policy changes or going from, for example, we were counting all of our instruments at one time, and then we had to create sheets to count by trays. Some of that takes a little longer, and depending on your position in the organization, you may need to get some other stakeholders involved in that.